Hey guys, it's been a while and I'm sure I missed you guys. I mean, a lot has been happening and we've barely used 1 month in 2023 or more. From an herbalist being struck with thunderbolts to another footballer earning like 200 million euro and to our presidential aspirant moving here and there campaigning for the forthcoming elections. And something about the election is that we've got some new words trending on the internet from bala blue to bula blah. I think I am less concerned. Let's get to the business of the day. This is So This Happened, where we get to highlight and review stories that made the news recently. I am your friendly neighborhood reporter, Adebimpe Olajiga. Let's start with the first story. The way unions have been going on strike, you will think they are all related to the god of thunder. Laishe Shango. Any small thing, strike, strike, strike. Well, that was on a lighter mode. But if demands are not met, I think going on strike sometimes help matters, especially when it comes to the aviation industry. So my people, that was how Kasala busted on Monday morning, the 23rd of January 2023, as flights at the Murtala Muhammad International and local airports were grounded as workers at the Nigerian Aviation Handling Company PLC embarked on strike. According to NACO, the strike is due to lack of salary increment. It was bad that it affected passenger and aviation expert Alex Nwaba. He said that NACO staff in the early hours of Monday walked out of the international airport saying they were on strike and would not handle any passenger, stating that even the Qatar flight landed and returned to Doha as there was no one to handle them. You needed to see how passengers were frustrated at the international airports. If you are familiar with the airports, you will know how NACO officials are important as they handle check-in, boarding and ramp services for several international airlines. Ladies and gentlemen, the shocking thing was that in less than 24 hours, the strike was cancelled. It be like magic. I never expected it. You know, when it comes to aviation, they always sit up as it both affects the elite and masses. Well, that was how the strike was suspended and they agreed to commence negotiation on the salary increments. When we thought we had overcome COVID-19, China reported nearly 13,000 COVID-related deaths in hospitals between January 13 and 19. That's like a week. Wow. A top health official said the vast majority of the population has already been infected by the virus. China a week earlier said nearly 60,000 people had died in COVID in hospitals as of January 12. But there has been widespread skepticism over official data since Beijing abruptly axed antivirus control last month. China's Center for Disease Control and Prevention said in a statement on Saturday that 681 hospitalized patients had died of respiratory failure caused by coronavirus infections and 11,977 had died of other diseases combined with infection over the period. The figures do not include those who died of the virus at home. But a top health official said China will not experience a second wave of COVID infection in the next 2 to 3 months after millions return to villages to mark the Lunar New Year because nearly 80% of the population has already been infected by the virus. Wu Zunyan, who is the chief epidemiologist at the China Center for Disease Control and Prevention, said in a post on Twitter, in short term, for example, in the next 2 to 3 months, the possibility of a second wave of the epidemic across the country is very small. It should better be very small because I can never forget how we had to live in 2020. Please, oh China, curtail it in no time. Sometimes I wonder how people take their own life. I mean, I know it's a big deal to struggle with depression, but I pray we don't have a reason to think of taking our own lives. Oluwapelumi Olano, a 300-level student of the Federal University of Technology, Akure. Oluwapelumi allegedly committed suicide at his off-campus residence in Akure, Ondo State. The industrial designer student allegedly hanged himself in his room. It would have taken a while, like so many thinking, so many consideration, before he could have done so. To get more details about his death, the president of the Students' Union, Jesu Nifemi Asora, disclosed that Olano left a suicide note. He said, and I quote, he left a suicide note and titled it Death Note. There were some messages in it, but we have not been able to interpret it. The note is now with the police. It was also gathered that the deceased might have taken his own life over a fraud allegation leveled against him in his department. One of his friends, Omoni Enoch, who spoke to the Union of Campus Journalists of FUTA, said Olano had a money issue with his department. Olano was said to be financial secretary of his department until his death. For better understanding, his friend said, and I quote, when school resumed for the 2021/2022 session, the treasurer of the department was not around to receive payment for dues. Joseph Olana decided to receive the payment from students. So the president requested that he should send 100,000 naira to him from a department project. Joseph sent it using his digital bank. It was debited, but the president did not receive it. The president requested that he should send the money. He said he had already sent it, but he did not receive it. You know how the school environment can be. Several emails were sent to the bank, but the issue wasn't resolved. Due to that, he was pressured about it, and everyone secluded him. He hadn't attended lectures since we got back from the Christmas break because of the pressure. In Enoch's explanation, he said the deceased informed him that the head of department called his dad to say he was involved in fraud. The friend said the development disturbed him. He requested to follow him to the office at the Students' Union building because he did not want to stay alone. He said he left him to attend few events, and on getting back, he knocked but noticed he didn't open and felt he was angry. Not until he saw him hanging from the ceiling through the window. Who is to blame? Can we hold the man who called his father and blame him for defamation, bullying, or involuntary manslaughter? Or should we also blame the friend that left him when he needed someone the most? I pray his soul rest in perfect peace. 100,000 naira. Thank you so much for watching, and now we've come to the end of this episode. Be free to share your comments on any of the stories. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on all our social media handles for the second news update. Until next time, my name is Adebimpe Olachiga, your friendly neighborhood reporter. Thank you for watching.